I am the youngest of two older siblings, but for today's presentation, I'm going to be talking about my brother, Nelson. But also, in this presentation, I am going to be representing myself, as you can see on screen, by these beautifully depicted stick figure drawings. Now, me and my brother grew up with each other, and we have a good age gap of 3 years apart, which for me is an age gap where we're not too far away from each other where we don't talk, but we're not too close where we slowly start hating each other. Now, this meant that Nelson and I went to the same elementary school, same middle school, and the same high school. This also meant that I saw Nelson accomplish a lot of things throughout his life. Such as the first thing I saw him do was get his diploma. Now, to me, I thought that was amazing. There's nothing else that could also be more amazing than that. But I also saw him get his associates. And I was like, wow. Really? I mean, what else could you do? And then 2 years after that, I saw my brother Nelson get his bachelor's. Now, seeing Nelson do and complete a lot of these things created this role model in my head, whereas I thought that Nelson was basically the best. As you can see portrayed here, Nelson is good. Now, with this mentality came some sort of toxic state of mind where I started comparing myself to my brother as for what he has done in his life comparing to what I have done. This created a very toxic mentality where I basically put myself down for no reason at all. And I just created this chart in my head. And luckily for everyone at home, I made the chart for y'all. Now, as you can see on screen, you can read the chart. Of course, me on the left side and Nelson on the right side. Of course, me on the left side says, graduating with a high school diploma, graduate with an associate's degree in arts, accepted into the college of my dreams, pursuing a degree in general business, and, have a TED Talk right now. But also Nelson has basically done all of that, but instead he has 2 TED Talks. Now, at the time when this was really starting to happen, basically my side of the table was completely empty, blank. Nothing was there, because this was around sophomore year, near the end or beginning or junior year. While Nelson has basically completed all of that, as you can see on his side, while I had nothing truly to celebrate or give myself the pat on the back about. So this created the idea where if Angel didn't equal Nelson, Nelson is greater than Angel. This made me very sad, as you can see on screen here. I just wasn't celebrating my accomplishments. I thought everything that I was doing meant absolutely nothing. This created sort of an attitude to any single type of celebration, accomplishment, into a very negative reaction. As you can see on screen right now, someone comes up to me and be like, hey, congratulations on passing that test, congratulations on taking that AP class, I know it was hard, and congratulations on passing it. But I would always respond to something like, okay, and? Now, at that time, I was starting to lose myself. I felt like I was just doing what everyone else has already done. Since I've been comparing myself, I've been feeling like I was losing myself. I was starting to sense that there was nothing special about me. Wow. Let me take you to the side real quick. During this time, at the same time all of this has happened, I also want to explain to you a little story that is going on. I want you to imagine a regular school night. Any night, it can be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you know what, even Friday, for a matter of fact. But imagine me being there in my room. Wow, there I am, aren't I? Now, I decided to do, the casual little brother thing. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go bother my older brother, Nelson. So of course, in my room, I decided to leave and go bother him. And there I go. Wow. Now, I was sitting there on Nelson's, chair, and Nelson went on his bed. And I walked in basically, and I was like, haha, I'm here to bother you. And he was like, yo, get out of my room. And I was like, no. And he said, why not? And I said, because I don't want to. So basically, like 30 minutes passed, and me and my brother were basically talking about shoes. We were talking about brands and stuff. And I reminded myself at that moment why I did walk into that room, and why I really wanted to go bother Nelson. I wanted to suggest to him an idea at the time that I really liked, but I felt that Nelson wasn't going to take it seriously. So of course I jokingly said, we should start a clothing brand. Now, the most shocking thing that my brother responded with was, okay. And that was just not what I expected, as I never expected my brother to seriously take one of my ideas as something we should actually do. So if I recall, I remember that night we basically just started looking up things. We started really wanting to get into this. We started searching up how we should make things, what should we do, what should we sell, basically. But I'm not gonna sit here and say all of this happened all in one night, because it didn't. About a year passed where we were going on and off and on and off about what should we do. And at the time, we had our name for our brand. After that year passed, what we were really leaning into was the name Homage Clothing, or as others say, Homage Clothing, but I always say Homage Clothing. Now, we decided to stick with Homage Clothing because, we wanted to pay respects to where we grew up, because we really liked the idea of, showing everyone where we grew up, just showing respect to what built us as a person. But over time, me and my brother slowly grew away from that name. We started to realize that that's not really what we wanted to celebrate. And we came up with the name Ourselves Clothing. Now, Ourselves Clothing was a better name. It was more expressing the individuals who helped shape you. So with this name, we just wanted to celebrate people, not just a place, not just the name of a city. We wanted to celebrate the people that helped shape us, or just shape everyone. That's why we called it Ourselves. So, homage or homage, get out of here. Too complicated of a name anyways. Thank God we didn't go for that. But as you can see in this next slide, you can clearly tell why we wanted to be Homage Clothing, because as you can see, our first shirt was Houston. It was a simple Houston college arc that was pink, and we just really wanted to pay respects to Houston, where we grew up. Well, we really grew up in like Pearland or Fresno, Texas, really, but Houston is truly where we spend most of our time at. And we wanted to pay respect to that. But, we didn't want to get confined or stuck into just doing Houston. So we went with Ourselves. And as you can see on the right side, it says, you look better on Instagram. Because, you really do look better on Instagram. But this is the things that we wanted to branch out more into. Other things, and other slogans. But one night, I can't remember if it was me or my brother, but for the sake of this TED Talk, I'm gonna say it was me. And one night, I came up with the slogan, just be you. Now, at the time, I didn't really think about what this slogan really meant. I just thought, just be you. What a quirky little slogan for other people to hear and, listen to. But then, over time, when we were, making the shirts, printing things out with that slogan saying just be you, I one day started thinking more about it. Sitting there cluelessly through it, like this all happened in about a week. Cluelessly, I truly started thinking, what does it really mean to just be you? Like, what do you mean by that? And then, all of a sudden, in my head, a light went off. Ding! I have figured out what it really meant. I realized what it means to just be you. First of all, this graph should have never existed in the first place. I should have never been comparing myself to someone else. I should have been focusing on myself. I should have been celebrating what I have done. Like, I can be here at home right now or in this recording and celebrate what I've actually done. I'm graduating with a high school diploma, have already graduated with an associate's degree, got accepted into UHD, and I'm currently pursuing a degree in general business. And for Christ's sake, I have a TED Talk. Like, I should have never been comparing myself to anybody else. That's what has been making me feel like I was just a clone in this world, like comparing to myself to what everyone else has done. If I would have kept doing that, I would have never felt like an individual. Because I started to feel like who I am, not who I was supposed to be. But then, that leaves me here today. That clothing brand I started about 2 years ago, or 3 years ago at the point of this TED Talk coming out. I saw that slogan, just be you, grow bigger than I could have imagined. And basically every time we go to a market and sell our clothing, sell the things that we do sell, I get to meet and experience individuals every time I go sell. Everyone on screen right here has bought something from us, bought something from ourselves clothing. And I'm not saying you have to buy something from us to just be yourself, but what I am saying is that everyone who has bought a hat, bought a shirt that says just be you, or bought the smiley face hat that says just be you, whether they bought it because they thought it was a nice graphic, or they bought it because they actually thought and think that slogan means something. It all comes down to thanking them that they supported us. Thank you for supporting us. You help me and others just express who they want to be. Who they should be. And like the hat or the shirt says, or like I always say, just be you. Thank you.